No, I know you came here to see another story about Tom Lee. I know you love him. I know we all love him. I know he's doing great things for crypto and BMNR and SBET and everyone out there in ETH. I know, but the name of this channel is Big Time Trades. So we got to find other trades, okay? And that's what I'm here to do. As much as we love Tom Lee and the BMNR trade, and SBET will be fine. I covered it in my last video last night, and I will cover it more. I have more stuff to say about SBET. I think SBET's going to be fine, by the way. Earnings are in a couple days, I think Friday. Guys, calm down. It's only been a month. Relax. In worst case scenario, print this out, this whole page, and pray to Tom Lee, because he'll fix everything. He always does. This is the face of a man that you can trust. So anyway, guys, we're going to go on to something that I believe could also be just as big as BMNR and SBET. Something, well, SBET hasn't even taken off yet, but it will. And I think this one's a YOLO play. This is, you only live once play, very high risk, but this is big time trades. You're not coming here because you're trying to find 10% a year. I don't do 10% a year. 10% a year doesn't do anything for me. I want Malibu beach side money. And Malibu is kind of burnt down right now, so we don't have to make as much. We can actually buy a nice piece of land for like $3 to $5 million now versus like $20 million house and build our own house. So we don't have to work as hard. So this is the time you want to make Malibu beachfront money. All right? This is it. So what do we got to do? Well, we're in SBET, we're in BMNR, we're in some other plays I'm sure you guys have, but ETH is great. ETH is pumping. Everything's doing well. What are we going to get into next? Well, this is one that I've been in for a minute. My average cost on this one, I'll actually come over here, is it's called Riley Financials. My average cost on this one is about $3.60, about $2, about 60%. I was going to bring this to you guys a lot earlier, but unfortunately, at first I didn't think it was going to take off like this. Second of all, I got a little bit busy with the whole ETH treasuries and all that other stuff, and I was just trying to cover it, which I'm going to give you guys an update on that tonight or tomorrow. There's a few things that happened there too, so we're going to have to go over. But Riley is actually a very interesting company, and it has a potential to be absolutely explosive. And you're looking at this going, well, it's a little penny stock, and it is. It's only like the market cap's like under $200 million. This is the type of company that can go to $2 billion, and you're like, wow, why? Well, I'm going to show you how. I'm going to give you my thesis, my theory, and you guys can do your own research and decide where it goes. First of all, this has spent most of its time in the last couple years over $50. That's just a fact. It has done incredibly well, and it was doing very well. It kind of exploded here, and there was some turmoil that happened with the SEC. They had a CEO that got investigated by the SEC. He did some things that we'll go over. So these are things that you know. This is a high risk play. Okay. This is a completely different play than SBET. Why do I do these plays? Well, I think you need to be diversified. I think you need to be a little bit over here, a little bit over there. I think you need to be all over the place because you don't know what's going to happen. This is outperforming most of the stuff in my portfolio, by the way, because of where the price point I got in. I bought some a little bit later, bought some a little earlier. My average is about 360, but I have some in another account. My average is closer to 4. So, I'm a little bit all over the place, but this is what is interesting to me about it. They believe that this year they're going to make about 40 cents this particular quarter. 40 cents for a stock that's about, $5.64 is actually very, very good. So they're believing that next year, the fiscal year, is going to be at 160. Again, for a stock that is $5, almost $6 to make $1.60 is very good. The reason it's so low is because people have lost confidence. A lot of people lost money in Riley. They lost confidence in it. It was at as high as $86. So those people who bought it at $70 and $80 and went all the way down to $4 and $3, man, they were pissed. I'm sure there's a bunch of lawsuits flying around and all that good stuff, basically. So why do I think it's going to do better? Well, they have a heavy debt load, but their debt load is actually coming down. They've been restructuring a lot of their debt load, okay? The other thing that I like about this is the potential for a short squeeze. There's a huge amount of short sellers, notably by Wolfpack Research. They have been shorting the crap out of them. The amount of shorts on Riley is huge. So what I'm hoping for is if the news is really good on earnings tomorrow, I'm hoping that this sparks something, because this is a particular kind of stock that you could see becoming the next GME or being the next, AMC. It really can be. The communities have to get behind this all over Reddit, everywhere. This could become, there's not a lot in this. There's not a lot of shares even trading in this. Most of the shares are actually held by insiders and by B. Riley, who is actually a guy named Bryant Riley, who's a CEO. Now he's a co-CEO. He owns most of it. So these guys are invested to make this work. They own, the float on this thing is so small. Their daily trades are under 1 million shares. It's barely trading. Any significant volume in this, the shorts are gone. And the shorts need something like 10 days, 9 or 10 days to cover. They're not going to be able to cover. They're just going to be wiped out, and they're going to be at market price told to buy. Okay. And you can kind of see here, this was the bottom right here around the $3 mark. It was around the $3 mark from April to July, and then it took off. Okay. So there's obviously some speculation that they're basically about to make a turnaround. Again, guys, this is very high risk stuff. You're not going to want to get into this without having an appetite for risk. Don't come crying and whining when it goes to zero, because these are the kind of things that can go. Don't come. Do your own research. Be a big boy. These are the risks I take because I feel confident in these turnaround stories because I've been in them in the past and I've understood them and I've made money on them. All right, and not only that. The reason I talk about SBET and BMNR is because I know crypto. And to me, this profile here is something that reminds me of a small little crypto project that went bad and they're trying to fix it up. And to me, these are the kind of projects I want to get into. This is for me. Do not listen to me. So, just understand that this is how I'm analyzing it. Okay. Now, the float, even here, very small. Liquidity issues. What does it mean, liquidity issues? Well, any major buying comes into this thing, it goes $7, $8, $9, $10. Then the shorts start to get panicked, and then they got to leave. This thing could do a short squeeze easy, $15, $17, $18, $19. It could do a 3x on any sort of incredible news, okay? There are some problems in it. They do have exposure to troubled investments in the past and some bankruptcies of some companies that they've owned. It's not perfect by any means. It is a turnaround story, okay? And this is a perfect thing. Show me mode. The market wants to see, are they going to be able to turn around? Show me you guys are for real. You guys are getting your shit together. That's what's going on. All right. Now, the debt load of the company has come down. And this is another reason why the price of the stock has gone up. And the reason it's gone up is because the price started to go up when their debt load kind of got restructured. So because they reduced it by about $700 billion year over year, which is huge. Being able to reduce their debt by that much has given them kind of a new lease on life. And the reason the price of the stock is so low is because of the debt. The debt is kind of holding them back. Yes, they're profitable, they're making money, but the debt, you have to make your payments on the debt. So it doesn't help even if you're profitable, if your debt is too large. So bringing down the debt has been significant. Now, I think there's a couple other things that can come into play here. Interest rates go down. So maybe they can refinance some of this debt later on at a lower rate. So then their coupon payments go down and all their payments go down. And guess what? Profitability starts to increase again. So it's things that you got to think about, not now, but 3 months from now, 6 months from now. I'm not buying B. Riley just so I can be in it overnight for a month or two. I'm buying this because I believe that in 6 months or a year, this could be $30, $40, $50, $60. That's what I'm buying it for. Am I right? We shall see. There's a chance I'm wrong because this is a very high risk play, but I'm in it at the right price. Being in it at under $4, around $4 was the right price. I apologize I didn't get it to you guys sooner, but it is what it is. So, key drivers of debt reduction. We talked about there's some recent bond stuff that happened. All right. So this is all good news. Now, the revenues have been going down from where they used to be. So the revenues are down. And I'm going to show you one more thing that is very interesting. So the SEC investigation too, they investigated this guy, their past CEO, Brian Kahn. But the good news is B. Riley, he is back. Okay. And he's kind of turning around the ship. He was the founder of the company and he's turning it around. And I feel really good having him in place. The loans to Brian Kahn, $200 million secured now by worthless FRG stock. Well, that's rough. That's a $200 million on their books that they're probably going to kind of eat. These are things that people are concerned about. These are not cool things that happen, but I'm going to show you guys something really cool. They also own this company called B. Riley Securities. B. Riley Securities was spun off separately. They have no debt. They have no nothing. This is what's very interesting about B. Riley Securities. They came out with their earnings last week, I believe. Look at the revenues. Total revenue, $60 million. Adjusted revenues, and then adjusted net income, $8.6 million. Net income was approximately $12.5 million. The GAAP adjusted was $12.5 million. So this is a very profitable company. If this was by itself, B. Riley right here, Securities by itself, this thing would be worth easily $500 to $600 million by itself. So this is where I'm getting excited, where I'm looking at. And there was something else in this report that got me really excited, okay? Look at this. Over the past year, we've helped clients raise over $8 billion to support AI-driven investments, a trend that remains key driver of activity throughout the second quarter, okay? This is huge. AI is huge, number one. If these guys are helping firms raise money for AI or AI investments, that means they're also investing behind them or they have connections to these things. There's a huge chance that some of these investments or some of these partnerships that they have out there will also filter in more income into B. Riley, number one. Number two, it could put them in a position where they take over another one of these companies down the road or make an investment in one of these companies down the road that could become massive. They have, $8 billion, guys. Clients over $8 billion is huge, okay? It's just what you're seeing is the kind of wording that you're trying to see is great. And then look at what you see in here. We've added talent across the platform, including 7 strategic hires that reinforce leadership across key practice areas. Okay, so this is important. Look at the expertise. Real estate. Real estate is going to be big once interest rates come down. Healthcare is blowing up right now. One of the only places that new jobs are being added is healthcare. This is the one I like. Digital assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum. You don't think they're working on something like that? You don't think there might be a partnership coming in some way, their own stable coin, something? We don't know. I'm inferring from this a lot, okay? Because this was such a bullish report from you could call a subsidiary that they own. I think they own 89% of it, all right? And I think the rest of it's owned by their CEO, like the other 11% or something. They own that. It's so incredibly bullish, and the upside for this thing is enormous. B. Riley Securities itself could probably, if they execute right, be worth billions of dollars if they start doing anything in digital assets alone. Consumer, TMT, fintech, renewables, and industrial, such as aerospace and defense. Beautiful. This is what you want to see. This is a kind of research you want to see. If this firm was independent by itself, it could be the next multi-billion dollar company. This thing is going to spin off close to probably $50 million a year. All right. What do you want to value a company that makes $50 million a year? You know, a financial company. Even if you give it a PE ratio of 10, which would be low because this is going to be growing, it's a small cap, you probably have to give it a 20. It would be worth $1 billion. So if you got $1.4 billion in debt and this is worth $1 billion, the other $400 million, they have all these other assets, which is in other industries and clothing and retail, all these other things easily. This $100 million, the $150 to $200 million market cap that B. Riley has right now, just looking at it, I'm looking at it as a value investor, is way too low. This is where I'm coming up with my numbers. I believe long term, more and more I look at this is going to return back to the good old days of where this thing was trading in the $50, $60 mark. I believe that's where it should go. I believe this is where it should be. I believe that this is where it will be. It might take some time. It might take a year. It might take 2 years. It might take 6 months. I don't know. I am not a fortune teller, but you should definitely do your own research. Go check it out. These are the kind of things that I'm looking at. And most of its history, if you look, it's been over $20. Most of its history. It has hit a rough patch, as you can see, since 2024. It has hit a very rough patch, but they've taken their time. It's been over a year now since they've fallen off, and they've kind of started to fix everything. They fixed their debt. They're trying to fix their reputation. It looks like they got a lot of their issues under control, which was, partly from the old administration. They got their new the CEO, the founder came back as a co-CEO. So they've got their stuff under control for the most part. Yes, there are still investigations, SEC, other things that are going on. So there are risks too. High risk, high reward. To me, buying something so cheap, the rewards are huge. I think minimum this is $20 in 6 months. I think this can go to $50 to $60 in 6 months. I think the rewards on something like this is absolutely enormous. At the same time, the downside, we know it kind of stopped around this $3 line. It wouldn't go below it. So I felt fairly comfortable buying it even at $4 and a little bit even higher. I think most I paid was about $4.80. I felt very comfortable. So you have to see where you're comfortable in buying these assets. Obviously, this asset is close to $6 now. Earnings are coming tomorrow. Looks like people are positioning themselves for earnings. Thinking a lot of people are very excited about earnings. They don't have a lot of stock. I'm looking at a short squeeze also potential. This thing pops off over $12. There will be a massive short squeeze. This goes over 12, I think, which is a double from here. I think the short squeeze on this thing, you gotta have a little bit of vision, sends this into the 20s plus. I'm hoping the retail crowd gets behind this because this ain't gonna take much. This will take a few million shares in a day to trade. This could be at $30, $40 tomorrow. So anyway, guys, take a look at it. I'm going to try to bring you guys more big time plays like this. We're doing big time plays. We're not doing the little other channels talking about getting into Tesla and the buying the S&P for 10%. Good for you. Good for you. Go buy that Apple stock. Good. Make that solid 10% a year, 20% a year. We do that in a day here in BMNR. We do it in a day in crypto. What you do in a year, we do in a day. Sometimes we lose it in a day too. So keep that in mind. This is a different kind of channel for a different type of investor. Bring out all my degenerates. This is all my degenerates. This is what I want. I want all my degenerate friends to make a comment. If you want more of these plays, tell me. I'm going to be giving you guys all my alt picks that I'm going to be rotating my ETH. I'm going to be leveraging my ETH, means I'm going to be loaning out my ETH, and I'm going to be buying a whole bunch of alts very soon. So I got that video coming hopefully tomorrow, and then I'm going to keep you guys updated on the whole ETH treasury saga as it continues. It's going to be wild. It's going to be a wild August. I can't believe this is only August and it's this crazy. Anyway, guys, best of luck. Let's see what happens here tomorrow. I don't know if earnings, it's going to fly or die, but, it's going to be interesting. But this, to me, is more of a play I buy and just kind of just sit on for a little bit. I don't really care about the ups and downs because I see the trajectory. The trajectory is good here. The theory I have here is good. But do your own research because I can definitely be wrong. I have been wrong many times. Anyway, guys, best of luck.